where's most of your stuff made?
All of our stuff is made in China at the moment.
Beatrice Toh only just got back from the States, where she was celebrating her toy company's expansion into American department stores.
This was 3 to 4 weeks ago. This is the New York Toy Fair. We were accepted to have an exhibition booth there.
And now we have tariffs.
Yep. So it's definitely a curveball, and now it's all up in the air because who bears the cost of the tariffs? It just changes the game for us completely.
So most Australians think Aussie businesses only have a 10% tariff. Why do you have so much more?
So our products are manufactured in China, and at the moment the tariffs being hit worse is the country China.
US President Donald Trump's tariffs on China are now at least 145%. Beatrice says her trade advisors say that tax will apply to her products.
And even if it was shipped from Australia, as long as they are manufactured in China, you would still be hit with that.
So this is sea level. Essentially all of the swimwear is made in China.
Steve Philpott's business model is also up in the air. He's been told the higher Chinese tariffs will apply to any garments that he makes there and then ships to the United States.
We have to see a bit of humour in it because it's just so crazy.
Other Australian fashion labels that manufacture in China and sell in the States include Cotton On, Zimmermann and Bonds.
The bulk of Australian fashion is made offshore.
American authorities and Australia's Trade Department didn't confirm what tariffs will apply to Chinese-made goods. However, experts say that the advice given to these brands is correct.
So the tariffs are going to be imposed on the basis of the origin of the products, and if they're wholly produced in China, then they're absolutely going to receive the higher tariff.
The Trade Minister declined an interview and says the government is working with the Trump administration.
The World Trade Organization rules have been disregarded. The Free Trade Agreement has been disregarded. He's breached the Free Trade Agreement. It's pretty straightforward.
I think Australia is really much an afterthought, and the ability to in fact get fully exempted seems relatively remote.
The Economist says that businesses are struggling to stay ahead of Trump's announcements.
It seems we wake up every day and the playing field has changed just that little bit more compared to what it was yesterday. The problem with all of that is that businesses can't make decisions.
Beatrice Toh says that they'll try and work around the tariffs for now.
I think there's going to be a portion of where we absorb it, our wholesalers will absorb some, and then the customers will just have to pay a higher price. But I think everybody suffers in this.
Steve Philpott is hoping that the US-China trade war calms down. However, he is looking into manufacturing in Cambodia, Vietnam, and even further afield in Africa.
Moving to another country is not what we want to do. Setting up in the US is not really viable for us either. We're an Australian company.
Steve would like to make more of his swimwear here, especially with the Aussie dollar so low.
I would produce more here if I could, but our industry has been so decimated. There's not really much of a manufacturing industry here anymore, which is a real shame. The government really does need to support the Australian fashion industry.
After years of globalisation, political upheaval is prompting a rethink of international supply chains.